teaching, his life, and his legacy. We do that through parade. We do that through parade celebrations, community functions such as the candlelight vigil that we host. We also host the Juneteenth parade, and we want to give respects to Congressman Sylvester Turner. We host the original Martin Luther King parade. So we provide opportunities for people to come together, and let's see how we are improving to better exist in this world together. So that was part of the premises of you and I, the us coming together and getting our communities so that we can embrace each other culture, learn some of the differences without trying to conform one to one culture. We're all in this together. So again, I appreciate the opportunity.
That's right. We are like living the dream.
Talk to us about some of the milestones that have been accomplished since the foundation of your organization.
Thank you for that. Yeah, actually, the organization started in 1974. Mr. Ovi Duncantel Jr., and he was a champion in civil rights leader. He wanted the African American community to have a better presence and have better laws that would help the African American community economically and health-wise to live better here in Houston, Texas. So they started the Black Heritage Society. And we started the first parade, as I stated, in 1978. And it was to honor the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King because of his teaching. His teachings are so valuable. And so we put on that parade and we allow people to come together so that we can all measure to see, are we getting closer and closer to his teaching for us to love each other.
Come on.
Now, I'm dating myself here because when that foundation was started, there were still lots of issues with civil rights. I mean, let's be honest. We still have issues down to this day around civil rights. So what are some of those highlights that the organization has been able to shine the light on, bring the awareness, and actively participate in the defense of civil rights, whether it's for blacks or other minorities?
You know, that's a question that many people ask. And we continue to put African Americans in leadership role. We have them in politics. We have them in the courthouse. But yet we're still fighting. So here at Black Heritage Society, we're wanting to approach the people. Because we're the people.
That's right.
And so if we all come together, we can make our world a better place. So our strategy is to go to the people. Let's let them learn more about civil rights movement because our history was not given to us.
Right.
That was part of why Carter G. Woodson created the Black History Month because we just don't have it readily available. We just seen where they took all the history books out the library.
Correct.
And they took them out the school, the Black History
They did
book.
the same with Hispanic studies. Yeah.
Yeah. So how do you improve and how can you go somewhere unless you have your history?
Correct.
Education is so important.
Talk to our audience about why knowing your roots is so important to understand where you're going.
Yes, and that's critical because when you know where you know your roots, you know what transpired, you know the fight, and you know people died for the right to vote, that creates some momentum in your life to say, hey, this is what was accomplished back then. What can I do to continue and pass this baton on in my generation and the generation that's coming before me? So,
In your experience, are you seeing a uptick or a surge in the younger generation stepping up and carrying that torch, or have people become disinterested or apathetic towards the fight for civil rights and for basically now democracy.
Yeah, people may have gotten a little complacent because we've been unfortunately, riding off the films of Dr. Martin Luther King and all of Congressman John Lewis. But you do see there is an uptick now because we can see that democracy is so frail.
Correct.
And we have
Vicky and I have been deeply involved since last year at Milby High School. And I find it alarming that students are not able to articulate their thoughts. When you ask them direct questions, they cannot answer. And so we have taken the initiative through HERO to bring out the voices in these students and get them to develop critical thinking because they are suffering from brain rot from just continuously living on devices that do not allow or foster critical thinking process to have a direction in life.
Yeah, and we understand now. We can see why the critical race theory was thrown out because, we have to foster education and thinking.
Sure.
So it is up to us as parents, grandparents, the community to reach into our children, into the classrooms, or put on, like your program here, Heroes, and provide this information for our young people. It is so critical, as you can see.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
And that's where it starts.
Yes, and that's why I said we're at the people level.
Yes.
We're going
Boots on the ground.
Boots on the ground, because we have our leaders and our politicians. They can do their part, but we have to understand that the responsibility falls back on all of us.
Yeah, you know what? You reminded me of that highly controversial. I don't remember. I defer to you if you remember. It was basically a academic, research-based paper or studies of
Correct.
African Americans, and that was being banned in many states. And so I got curious about it. So I did a deep dive and I read the entire report. And basically, America was built on the backs of blacks, of African Americans. Okay, the economy was built on slave labor, and all this egalitarian society was again built on the backs of African Americans. So that's a truth that that makes a lot of people uncomfortable, but the facts are the facts. Truths cannot be untruths.
Yes, and that's what we're trying to get out, as you stated. It is not readily available, the information. The books are banned. Education, there is
Yes.
no Black history education on the college levels.
Do you remember the name of that report? It's the 18-something report or the 17th.
Well, we have, as you know, that with Carter G. Woodson, he did put in place African American History Month and those books. So I'm assuming that it may be one of his books.
No, it was a report that was done by an African American professor. That again, this is academic, research-based report. I'll find it for us here as we keep going.
Okay, sounds good. I mean, there's a lot of research, and we have W.E. Du Bois, we have Carter G. Woodson. They all put out all types of publication to inform the African American community.
Sure.
So the information is available, and is since this modern technology, I don't want to pounce too hard on the social media platforms and things, because it has done some good providing resource and information for our young people.
Correct.
Now, do our young people navigate toward it? That's the question.
Right.
But it simplifies accessing the information. So we have to get this information back into the hands of our youth, either through education or through conversation and podcasts like these. And I thank y'all for the opportunity, because as you just said, the African American experience is kind of like a blueprint for many ethnicities, for us all to think about how was this built, how these African Americans did all this labor, and what are they doing to continue to move forward.
Correct. And what did you think about our last community forum that we had? That we were there to talk about what's happening in the Latino communities.
I was devastated and hurt, of course. Human beings again. You know, we should have better immigration laws. You have people been here for 40 and 50, 60 years. Some of these people are my neighbors.
Correct.
So we have to start coming together.
That's right.
Let's share each other's struggle. I'm sharing our struggle with you all, and you all are sharing your struggle. And so now that we're together sharing each other's struggle, we're going to go ahead and start understanding about capitalism, colonialism, the things that you were talking about,
Yeah.
sir. We're going to have a better understanding of the civil rights movement so that we can start practicing, nonviolence. The King Center has programs. People can go online and get those programs at the King Center. We have the Drum Major Institute, and that's, let's see, Martin Luther King Jr. the Third.
Right.
So we have all of this information readily available with this here social media. And I tell you, if we just access the information, let us not be dumbed down. Let's go ahead and continue to propel.
What do you
forward.
think, and where do you find, like with with Black children, like what do you find that can improve, or what needs do they have in the community?
With our with Black children, and me being a mother and a grandmother now and great grandmother, I find that we do need to share our history.
Because I know it's across the board, but where do
Sharing our history to give some importance to our life, our living, our existence.
correct?
Share your ancestor information. It's like if your family has a strong family history of heart attacks. Well, you don't want to be oblivious to that. You want to share that information with your children so that they can eat right, exercise, do regular checkups, so that they won't have a premature early death, as we call it. So sharing history can improve your life. So you know what your family may, if there was early deaths. If I know that, then I'm going to do a better job of taking care of myself to the best of my ability.
Did you find that, Victor?
I'm looking for it.
You're looking
Talk
for
to us about what some of the events that have happened and are going during Black History Month that the community needs to know about.
So we've had, as I say, we've had the original Martin Luther King parade, and we were just excited, even though the weather wasn't on our side in January. But we did have a wonderful presentation and showing downtown Houston, and we're going to have our next parade January the 20th in 2026. So we're looking forward for people to come out to that. We also have our Juneteenth parade we're getting ready to host that, and that's going to be June the 21st. If y'all correct me if my date
I think
is
it's right.
Okay.
Talk to us. We know what the Juneteenth day is, but again, for younger generation that don't keep up and are not knowledgeable, what is the Juneteenth about?
So the Juneteenth celebration is the celebration of Emancipation Proclamation, where we got our freedom here in Houston, Texas. President Abe Lincoln, he did sign it into law. The orders, executive directives, he signed that into law in 1863. But unfortunately, in the South, they were very reluctant to they wanted those slaves to continue to force those slaves to work with no pay.
Right.
And so here in the South, the blacks didn't get the information. They didn't get the message until General Granger came in Galveston and say, hey, you all are free. So this is not just a day for just African Americans. We paved the way, and there are people lost their lives and they died. But as you can see right now, that freedom exists for us all. for Latino, for Hispanics, for all of us.
That's right.
And so we have the blueprint. We just need to come together, and that's what we're doing with Black Heritage Society. And I really thank you, Dr. Vicky, for inviting us so that we can start informing our children, our grandchildren, and we want to pass that baton. We got to start getting into our information. Sure, it's not very comfortable to talk about what was done because it's hard to understand how one human being can do that to another human being.
Correct.
It is hard. I get it. But it is a much needed conversation to have. Just as I used the example of a heart attack or a history of not getting regular checkups, we have to understand how to take care of the body, how to get the information, how to take the medication, all of those things.
Well, one thing that I've always recognized, or, it's more so going into the school system, because my background had been working in corporate, right? Was always, we had our diversity inclusiveness. We've always had, creating more of a cultural understanding in those, in our environment. But in the school environment, there's none. There's no education integrating children and to allowing them to see each other as, one, as citizens or what have you, residents, and we just don't see that in the schools. We don't see how do you feel about that? What do you think?
It's very unfortunate because we're not able to celebrate each other's differences. And we have wonderful cultures, do we not?
Exactly.
We have wonderful cultures.
We do.
So if just like when people come out to the Juneteenth parade, they're celebrating. We all have wonderful cultures, and we should be able to celebrate that. So here in America, we as African Americans, we've been trying to assimilate here ourselves. And as soon as I say, get our feet and square our shoulders and things,
Correct.
Then the rug gets taken out from under us. As you can see now, they have ripped away DEI. Not saying that really helped the African Americans, because we all know that a lot of minority white women was getting awarded the contracts. But still, nevertheless, we still moving forward because there is a lot of opportunity in education, and that's for the disability, for just all for the LBG community, all of us, because this, it's a social situation that we're looking at, and we want to socially make the world a better place.
That's right. When it comes to the society, Teresa, what about the Black Heritage Society? How big is it, or how is it membership, or what's it based out of?
Thank you for that question. We do have a membership, and it's on our website. If people would like to get more information, please visit our website. Thank you for that, www.blackheritagesociety.net. Again, we do have membership. You get the information about the different events that's coming up. We do have the candlelight visual that's going to be at the McGregor Park,
April.
and that's April 5th. 2025. So please, just let's come together. We are hoping to have a lot of our leaders out there so that we can inform each other. We're going to have vendor booths, and we're going to have food trucks, but we're also having a car show. We get these cars registered. So we want to make it fun. And again, we want to draw our young people in at the same time, because it's important for us to know our history. And if it's not done in the schools, and it's not, we also, maybe in the churches, we're going to have to get the information to our young people. That is critical.
I found that report. It's
is
the
it?
1619 report, published by the New York Times, and it was written by, again, a professor of African American Studies. Okay, now do the math. 1619. Okay, that is many years before the U.S. was established as a country. So again, the roots of the story
Yes.
of America runs through the history of African Americans. Okay, if you don't study African American history, you don't know America, because every aspect of society has been impacted by the history of African Americans after reading that report. So it's a must read for people to understand the significance and the value that African Americans play in our society.
That's right.
We thank you for that, and you know that is so ironic, but you're so on point, and just love you all. Just want to share this with you. We have these available. It's just value your power, and this is something we're
Sure.
giving out to our communities, Africans across the globe, significantly contributing to a divine change.
I'm currently working on a story that a lot of people don't know that mariachi music is actually rooted in the beats of African American music.
I didn't know that.
Yes, I interviewed a African American mariachi violin player,
That's
and she studied classical violinist, and so I got really intrigued by what is an African American student playing in a mariachi group. So I got really curious. I interviewed the family and I did a deep dive. And mariachi music would not exist as it is had it not had the influence of the beats of African American music as well as Cuban. Down in the Caribbean, it's like mariachi music, there's a through line directly to Africa.
We are just all brothers and sisters.
We are.
That's right.
We are.
We're
Yes,
just
we are.
all brothers and
Yes,
sisters.
we are.
So
There
I
is
would-
less than a thumbnail
Yes.
of melatonin that divides us. So imagine, it's like we need to wake up, people, and realize that we're all of the same race.
The
That's
human,
right, that's
the
right.
we are all human
That's
beings.
right.
That's
In
right.
fact, human race is not really scientifically proven.
Yes.
So that's one thing. And what I like on the other side of our card, it shows that we need to, guard against misinformation,
Mm-hmm.
twisted truth, lies. We have it. This is what we're passing
Yes.
out in our community.
Good.
So we are empowering people with the information. We understand that the Black history, the books are not there. We do have Black history books and different authors in our office, and we're looking to get a museum so that we can continue to propel this information forward.
I went to that facility as a news reporter some time back that houses the Buffalo Soldiers.
Yes.
The Buffalo Soldiers memorabilia and the history. And again, I know a little bit about the story because I've lived in West Texas, and there's several cemeteries that are specifically designated for the Buffalo Soldiers, which were African American soldiers in the West.
Wow. So, and if you recall, maybe you do or do not, but when I was a young child, I recall being able to go to different museums, going to even the Capitol, looking at other African Americans and learning more about other ethnicity. We even had the Mayflower dance or some of those things.
Sure.
Even Macarena.
The Macarena.
Macarena dance, and we did all of that because that at the
We're
time
gonna have the control booth dancing Macarena out there,
Yeah.
playing
So
the music.
right, we all shared on each other's culture.
Yes.
But you don't see that today as much.
No, and that's by design. Okay, so
Yeah.
people wake up.
Yeah, so
You
it
don't
is.
see
It's
it.
definitely wake up. The more they divide, a house that's divided will fall. And this is what, there I think that the fear is that we usually we wake up and we're smart. And we made mention, we talked about the kingdom. We talk about the kingdom
Yes.
of God, on our forum. And it was like, if we are just all kingdom ambassadors and knowing and proclaiming our faith, it's like, we don't take our skin. Why are we not loving one another and loving our differences, right? Embracing those differences. And that's what we do with Hero. It's teaching our children the respect level. We talk about all day long, loving one another. It's like, how do I love them if I don't like them? But it's like we love each other. We have to respect each other, right?
That's
Vicky,
right.
the first cohort of 2025 of Hero is mostly African American children in the church.
Wow.
The Hero Plus is mostly African American children.
The
From-
Hero Plus.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that are descendants of Latin American countries.
Yes,
Okay,
We are brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
that's right.
Reverend Dr. Derek King said it, articulated it best. He says that we're just all better together. And Bishop Dixon, we were at his church, and we love him. Wonderful Bishop Dixon. He's currently on that, letting informing African American communities. We need to wake up. It is time to wake up,
That's right.
and let's come together.
Absolutely.
So I do appreciate y'all having me, the Black Heritage Society, on your podcast.
So you
today.
gave us the Victor. Do you have any other questions?
no,
So you gave us the mission, the vision, and what have you. What's next for you all? I know that you're hosting parades, and what else would you like the community to know? And what's next?
Well, we have the different events throughout the year so that we can keep the community engaged. But you can come to our office, call us. Come to our office, call us, because, as I stated, we are promoting the information, elevating civil rights. We need to go ahead and improve our knowledge on that. We have the bandit books, as well as we want to go ahead and let people know about, sorry about that, the bandit books.
That's okay.
Just the information that we have readily available. So,
how can people find out about you?
So, our telephone number is 281-405-0006. We have our board members, they come into the office, as well as we do have some staff. So we're there to give you the information. And one of the main things that we do, besides the elevating civil rights learning, we want to get people registered to vote. That is the critical component. We feel like that we've done a better, if we all need to do a better job of getting people out to vote. That's what's going to make a difference. And we all have to come together and know our history so that we can vote accordingly.
Talk to us about the legacy of Congressman Turner, since you have had more direct knowledge of his achievements locally, statewide, and maybe not so much at the national level. But it's like, from your perspective, in your own words, what should the community remember about Sylvester Turner?
Congressman Sylvester Turner, and it's pretty emotional because we also had the privilege to work with Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee.
Mm-hmm.
And, Congressman Sylvester Turner, he's just a heart of gold.
As a journalist, I actually interviewed both of them, and among journalists, the saying of Sheila Jackson was, "You cannot outwork her." Okay? No. She was known as a workhorse to campaign and to win elections, again, because you could not work her. Now, sadly, she couldn't get the Houston election, and that's a whole nother story.
Yes.
But I got to interview Sylvester Turner, but it was mostly about current news that were going on. What else should we know about Sylvester?
And as I stated, he was very dear to Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee. Of course, that
Yes.
is part of the reason why he campaigned and elected and was won her position. He is a people person. He was a people person, and he was mayor for the city of Houston for
Right.
8 years. And if I tell you, we had nothing but utmost respect for when Congressman Sylvester Turner was mayor. He made the parade. He made the relationship with us, Mr. Ovite Duncantel, a success.
He attended Latino events. I know that for a fact because I was there. Whereas previous mayors, I didn't see them attending a lot of Latino events. So he supported Latinos.
He supported everybody.
And so did Sheila Jackson
Yes.
Lee. And I'm telling you what, she's I mean, even like our events that we host, it's so just different. Because it's like you're so used to it, especially now more than ever. It's times that we need them both.
Yes.
Somebody's got to step up.
Somebody's gotta
and
step
so
up.
we got to build future leaders.
Yep.
And we need to do it together.
We
Yeah.
need to do it together. That's it.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for being on here, Teresa Brewer. Like we said, together we can do more. Mission One USA. I mean, this is what it's about: unity in the community.
Yes.
And it was such a joy to just, and if you can just by listening to Teresa Brewer and the Black Heritage Society can see why, she's here. Why she's here. And why we want to get the message out that right now, more than ever, it's so important that we work together, that we teach our children, right? We take them into history. And thank God for the Bible. We take them as far as to history, right? And to show our children what's possible. What's possible when we do it together, what's possible when we work together,
Yes.
educate one another. And so it's a blessing. It's a blessing to have you here. And to all the viewers, please like and share our videos. Visit Mission One USA. Learn more about what's happening with our movement. We had an outstanding coach class for Hero.
Yes.
Yes, we did. And so next is this Friday, Teen Talk is happening. Friday at the Servants of Christ Church, located at 3827 Broadway. We will have 5:30. It's going to be from 5:30 to 8 p.m. Thank you to Jerry Garcia, Constable's Office, for being there and providing your deputies to come out and educate and to speak to our youth. It's so important. And we have two amazing topics, coaches that are going to come out and speak, and stories that they're going to hear. Follow us on Facebook. And also on Saturday, we are hosting the next Milby Hero. Yes, clap it up. Yes, that's awesome. I see our sound guys like, yes, it's happening. We have, as of to date, I think, Teresa, it's been about 500 students that we've already impacted. So we're just continuing to count these numbers. I know Victor
The
said
stories are being gathered of how Hero has impacted these adolescents.
yes, and we have a documentary that's
Yes.
coming out on that. It's exciting, and so thank you to all the supporters. We appreciate you, all the coaches. Thank you. Follow us. We have more Coaches Day coaching events. It's the last Tuesday of every month, and Teen Talk is the first Friday of every month. So thank you all so much. Victor, anything else you want to add?
I'm good.
We're good.
Until next week, go out and have a great week.
That's right. And thank you so much, Teresa, again, for being here. You're amazing. And I can't wait to do some great things with you. Like Victor says, make it a great week. We love you, Houston. Have a great day.